Hell yeah.
I'd say if the question was who's the best looking, I'd say the guy that sits in the middle.
Well, I can tell you right now, you look like you're from Hawaii, so I think
We're just trying to have fun out here, and our idiot kicker got liquored up.
Yeah, holiday world for me because I'm not tall enough to ride the roller coasters at Kings Island.
Hell yeah.
Stay in school, kids, so you don't end up like me. They say challenging.
He's a dog.
Had number 2, I had Lose Yourself by Eminem.
Okay. That's a good one. That was
spaghetti.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, he discuss. And if you like him, that tells me a lot about you.
I was in the gas station today, and a sweet old lady did say hello to me, and I think she was into me.
Question.
We'll get a little bit more serious here. Bigfoot, I know you're out there, and I'm coming for you.
7 Nation Army by the White Stripes.
Number 3. Without chicken, man.
If you've ever heard a rumor about me, it's definitely true.
Hey, Jonathan, you want to come back to the horseshoe?
Perfect.
I can't even think of it.
Don't even know.
Got it.
I'll look it up after
How's
this.
it going? How's it going?
I'm not gonna sing with you guys because I'm just too good. Obviously, I'd break glass or something like that, so I don't want to show off.
There's so much glass. Long neck, I stole beer, never broke my heart. I think that's a good one. That was good.
Podcast. We just had some big trade stuff going on in the NBA. We had Damian Lillard finally getting shipped out. He's going to be playing with Giannis on the Milwaukee Bucks. Do we have anything to say about that, Carson?
Yeah. So we were kind of talking about this right before the show, and like Jacob was saying, it's like there is nobody in this trade that I feel like that got scammed. I feel like there's a lot of players thrown around, and I mean, yes, you could probably declare a winner, but I feel like obviously like Damian Lillard to the Bucks, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean,
without giving up Middleton.
Yeah, without giving up Middleton, obviously, or Giannis. Brook Lopez is still there. I mean, you would think this would have to make them the top team in the East, right? If he wants to stay there, which I'm assuming he has no choice now. But Jake, what do you think? Do you think the Bucks? You think the Bucks are the 1 seed?
I'm really worried about them defensively now. Just giving up J. Rue Holiday, that's a lot to give up.
Yeah.
And Grayson Allen, great player as far as defensively, great role player. But, I mean, it's hard to argue that you can't be happy with getting Damian Lillard. Just because, he's like a different player. He's on a different level than we usually see stars getting moved, right? We saw KD get moved, right? He's one of the best of all time. But the only thing comparable with Damian Lillard is probably the next best, James Harden, right, as far as trades go. And, we don't really, it doesn't really... James Harden isn't Lillard. Lillard's so underrated just because he plays in Portland. Us on the East Coast only get to watch him, when they have primetime games. So, I think it's hard to argue that anybody lost this trade, like you said. But if I had to see a real winner here, man, not only the Bucks, but the Suns. Ooh-wee. They got so much better with Yusuf Nurkic, Grayson Allen, Nasir Little, and then Keon Johnson. Just getting those role players around their superstars that you need. That you have to have role players to win an NBA championship, and them acquiring them, I think, is a ginormous win.
Yeah, and then so here's the full details. Obviously, Damian Lillard to the Bucks. That is all they got. Portland will receive Drew Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, and then Tumani Kamara, and a first-round pick in 2029, and a swap in 28 and 30. The Blazers got a lot. Obviously, it is Damian Lillard, but J. Rue Holiday and DeAndre Ayton. Obviously, Ayton was the first overall pick. Drew Holiday is probably the most underrated point guard in the league. Obviously, I think in the perfect world, Portland would love to keep Drew Holiday, though. I think, like...
I've heard they want to move on from him.
No, they do, but get rid of Simons. You get rid of him, and then you run Scoot Henderson and Drew Holiday. And I think Scoot Henderson could learn a lot off Drew Holiday. Because Simons, yes, he's shown that he's a scorer, freak athlete, but he has not shown that he's a good defender and a leader. So there's a lot of things in Portland, a lot of young. They don't have a leader, though, right now. And I think that's kind of their problem, especially now that they're going to be trading away Drew Holiday most likely. And then the Suns, like Jake said, they got Nurkic, Grayson Allen, Nazir Little, and Keon Johnson. A lot of role players, and I think Nurkic is a way better fit than DeAndre Ayton for this team. Nurkic is a way better rebounder and also a way better defender because he's big and strong, way stronger than Ayton.
He'll definitely bring a lot more toughness.
Yeah, exactly.
DeAndre Ayton gets called soft a
is,
lot.
sorry to interrupt you guys. The other thing that's funny is I feel like we always are able to revert these conversations back to our favorite teams. It's kind of nice that the Pacers got to spit in the face of the Suns when they matched DeAndre Ayton's contract. So now I'm sure that, I as a Pacer fan am rejoicing that they matched that contract, but I'm also sure that the Pacers as an organization are pretty happy that the Suns kind of got us stuck to them.
Yeah, and especially since, like Miles Turner is actually better than DeAndre Ayton. I don't care what anybody says. Like
Miles Turner might have had one of the biggest jumps of a player.
And finally, though.
Like, as far as skill, yeah, right.
Finally, I mean, like, he there's always been that talk. He's always been an elite shot blocker, decent three-point shooter, but he actually stepped up his three-point shooting last year. He was finishing around the rim. He brought his rebounds up per game. That was the big question mark about him, is his rebound. Like, he was only averaging, 6 rebounds. Obviously, he always had Sabonis in front of him, but finally, he actually has, he actually got up to, 8, 9 rebounds a game last year, which is huge for him, considering he's our center. And Nurkic, though, I think is a great fit for the Suns. I think that is a huge player for them. And Grayson Allen, obviously, he's a great three-point shooter, good 3-and-D. Nazir Little, freak athlete. Keon Johnson, freak athlete. So I think the Suns...
It'll be really interesting to see just how scary that offense is with someone to really stretch the floor for Giannis. I'm interested.
And at the end of the summer, I mean, it was well publicized that Giannis, he had always, his whole career was like, I'm staying in Milwaukee. At the end of this summer, he said, you know what, I want to stay in Milwaukee, but I want to do what's best for me because I want to win more NBA championships. I want to be more successful. So I really think this is the Bucks' evidence of proving to him that they are committed to the long run.
Yeah, and I totally agree. Was a shootout. There was a lot of good games. Good football was being played. The 49ers.
What are our records? Our records?
So for this week or for the year?
Both.
So this week, Jake, you went 8-8. Jaden and I went 11-5. So that was I needed a good bounce back week after I finished last week, and then Jake, you finished first last week.
Now game's over. I mean that's 8 games worth of money there for me.
Exactly.
So
and the downfall.
Bet my picks.
Yeah, but the thing is though about it is the hard thing about it is too it is most of these most of them we're picking our favorites. So
right.
I mean. Because we're not really doing spreads, so it's kind of hard to determine that. But I guess at the same time, though, if you just have to put more money on it to get up to plus, where you get more. So, if you did it where you did it equal, then yeah, you probably would be ahead. Still, I mean, yeah, you're 8 games over. And same thing with, it was the San Francisco 49ers, and they played, anybody remember? I already forgot.
The Giants.
The Giants. And then, and the Giants looked like they played football. It's just that the 49ers were a way better team. Like they always are.
49ers are better at playing football.
Yeah, exactly. A lot more star power. And I think that's what it basically came down to, star power. And the New York Giants are without their star power. And I think that's all there really is need to be said. We all took the 49ers in this one, and it was a clean sweep. Yeah,
so I think for me, as far as just a little recap goes, I think that both of you all could tell anybody. And if you've listened to this podcast, you can probably tell I'm a certified hater. I'm a hater. That's the bottom line. I like to hate. And I'm going to tell you this. I don't like Brock Purdy. I think he's okay, right? But I think he's severely overrated and is the screen merchant from here on out. And he is fortunate to be in an offense that has so many guys that are good at running after the catch. But I think a lot of his stats are severely inflated. He doesn't make good intermediate and deep throws. He'll make one every once in a while, but you've got to expect that out of a starting quarterback. But I believe that he should be from now on known as the screen merchant.
Yeah. What I get from Brock Purdy is I get a lot of like safe quarterback Rams Jared Goff, and as you guys know, I was not a Rams Jared Goff fan. There's a lot of short stuff, a lot of run plays. Like, not a fan of that kind of style of football. But it's hard to not play those dynamic players where they can make so much open field ground and at yards after the catch guys. So can't really blame him there. But yes, I totally understand what you're saying. Anything, Jude?
Mm-mm.
All right, and then moving to quarterback again. And I know, like, the past 2 weeks, I said that he's been playing okay and everything. But no, this was actually his first good game. Deshaun Watson actually looked like he was somewhat back. He's still not back to his full potential yet, but this was a huge game for Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, I think it was environment for him. The Titans are kind of known around the league as being a pass funnel. Everybody can pass on the Titans. So I think that's what Deshaun Watson needed. You know, he's been facing some tough defenses, got off to a slow start, struggling to make his reads really fast. But he got back on track this week, and I think that was a must-win game for the Browns. And, yeah, I'm kind of glad they got their business done.
Absolutely. This is a game for me. I have to, again, I'm a certified hater. I got to kind of swallow my pride here. And I admit Deshaun Watson looked really good against a pretty decent Titans defense. I finally saw some of those throws that he had made at the beginning of his career in Houston. But yeah, he looked pretty good against that Titans defense.
Yeah, and it could just be 1 week, so we technically don't know, but it was definitely a good stepping stone for the future, hopefully, for my sake. And yeah, it was a really good game. It was a really good game for the Cleveland Browns, considering they lost Nick Chubb. But I think it had a lot to do with it. Obviously, you were game planned for it, you were ready for it, and you didn't have Nick Chubb. Obviously, going against the Steelers, it happened so early in the game, and then boom, your game plan was around Nick Chubb. And now it was different. They had Jerome Ford. He scored on like a 25-yard wheel route. Nick Chubb, you don't do that with Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb's more, you give the ball to him, let him create. But, yeah, it was a good game by Cleveland, and I think we'll see going forward how well they look. And then, so do you guys think Kareem Hunt gets more involved? Obviously, I would say he does, but do you think he takes over the one, or do you think they'll be split?
I think Kareem Hunt is dust. I saw he already wasn't practicing today, so if he does take over the one, I don't think it'll be this week.
Yeah, for me, the story of this game is, don't look now, but the Detroit Lions have one of the best run defenses in the league. They were bottling them up. They done a great job on bottling up Bijan and just that Falcons attack in general. I watched Red Zone, so I don't see, the full game. How much is Cordarrelle Patterson getting involved for the Falcons offense?
Not at all. Same thing with me.
Because before the year, the whole thing was he's in the Joker position. They're going to use him so many ways. I haven't seen anything as far as statutes go about them using him.
Yeah, and I think it's just one of those things too. He's just, age is getting to him. He's playing running back, that does it to you. Obviously, he came into the league as a special teamer.
He was a first-round receiver, actually. He was supposed to be pretty good.
And then he kind of turned into a good special teamer, returner, and then went to that wide receiver, and then he turned into a running back at the Patriots, I believe. And it just kind of...
This game was kind of that moment for Jordan Love, it's kind of like that, I'm that guy now. I think this is kind of his signature victory. They scored all 18 of their points in the fourth quarter. I think this is kind of like that moment, okay, I'm the franchise now.
Well, what I was impressed with Jordan Love was, he didn't have a perfect game by any means. He still made some really bad throws, some balls I'm sure he would love to have back, but I liked his resiliency. He came up and stepped up when it mattered most and was able to make up for a lot of those mistakes. And you love to see that from a young quarterback.
Yeah, and like I said, I just think, Derek Carr's in that game. They win that game. It is what it is. The Saints looked way better at football than the Green Bay Packers that game until the Saints couldn't do nothing on offense in that second half. And then, then your defense starts getting tired, the Saints. And I think that's what it came down to. But it is what it is. And the Packers got the win, and teams in football still. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, that was... and
then Jade and I took the Dolphins, and then Jake took the Broncos.
Yeah.
Hey, at least they scored 20
I mean-
points this week.
Well, yeah, I didn't get notified that Sean Payton wasn't gonna create a game plan, or their defense wasn't gonna create a game plan. Like, did they even? I wonder, like, during week meetings, did they even talk about Tyreek Hill? Like, did they even say, hey, number 10 on the offense, he's a threat. Like, we can't let him get in the open field. No, we need to double cover him. Like, that. I mean, plain and simple, that was poor coaching. That game was poor coaching. I mean, how do you